welcome you. Have you ever paused to consider if two concepts may be described with names that sound pretty similar are actually distinct?
Or are they just, two sides of the same coin?
Exactly. Today, we're doing a deep dive into an ancient Buddhist text, the Anuruddhasutta, that tackles just that kind of puzzle. And it takes us some really interesting places.
That's right. We're focusing on, our mission for you today is really to unpack the way this text carefully distinguishes between two types of mind deliverance. There's the immeasurable one,
Appamāṇā cetovimutti.
precisely, and the magnified one, mahaggatā cetovimutti.
Okay.
And this isn't just playing with words. It's really about understanding consciousness, its nature, and how it affects, everything our present, maybe even our future.
And we'll get into this through a really curious, almost charming story involving a busy royal carpenter and a respected monk.
Oh.
So yeah, let's unpack this.
Okay.
So the story kicks off in ancient Savatthi. We're at the Jetavana monastery, a famous spot, and a messenger shows up. He's from Pañcakaṅga, who's a royal carpenter. He brings this slightly unusual invitation for the venerable Anuruddha.
An invitation for a meal.
Yeah, a meal for 4 people the next day. But here's the catch. Pañcakaṅga is, always swamped with royal work, so he asks Anuruddha to please come early.
Right, because his schedule is packed.
Exactly. And Anuruddha, he accepts silently. Very monk-like.
Yes, that quiet acceptance. So the next morning, Anuruddha turns up, just as asked, and Pañcakaṅga himself serves the meal. Very respectful. But the real, the core of our deep dive, that starts after the meal.
Right. That's when Pañcakaṅga brings up this question, something that was clearly, bothering him, something he'd even talked to other monks about but wasn't satisfied.
Okay, so what was the big question?
He asks Anuruddha straight up, these two terms, immeasurable mind deliverance and magnified mind deliverance, are they different? Different meanings, different words? Or are they actually the same meaning, just, different ways of saying it? And Pañcakaṅga adds that he kind of leans towards them being the same thing.
Ah, okay. So he has his own theory.
Yeah, a common sort of confusion when terms sound alike.
Right. But Anuruddha, he doesn't hesitate. He immediately says, no, they are fundamentally different.
Different in meaning and in expression.
Both, yeah. Very clear distinction. And that really sets the stage for his explanation, which is, pretty crucial if you're interested in mental cultivation.
Okay, so let's dig into that first one, though. Immeasurable mind deliverance. What's that all about?
Well, the text describes it as dwelling, pervading, extending your mind outwards.
In every direction. North, south, east, west.
Up, down, across the whole world, basically.
Yeah.
But the key is what you're pervading with.
Okay, so it's not just awareness of space?
No, it's about pervading with these 4 specific boundless qualities. You might know them as the Brahma Viharas, or divine abodes.
Ah, right, like metta. Friendliness.
Exactly. Boundless goodwill for everyone. Then karun, compassion wanting all beings to be free from suffering. Then mudita, sympathetic joy, genuinely feeling happy for others' happiness.
Without envy.
Right. And finally, upekkha, equanimity, that sort of mental balance, impartiality, calm acceptance.
And the text really stresses this, doesn't it? It says pervading, vast, magnified, immeasurable, free from enmity, free from ill will.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about radiating these profound heart qualities universally. It's a qualitative expansion.
Okay, qualitative. Now let's pivot to the other one, magnified mind deliverance. Because here you said the focus shifts.
It really does. It shifts from that quality of mind to something more, quantifiable. It's about physical space.
Physical space, how so?
Magnified mind deliverance is defined by mentally pervading, dwelling upon larger and larger physical areas, almost like zooming out your mental focus.
Okay, give us the examples. The text is specific here, isn't it?
Very specific, almost tangible. It starts small, mentally covering the area of, say, 1 tree root.
Just 1 tree root.
Okay, then you expand that awareness to 2 or 3 tree roots.
Right.
Then, bigger still, the area of 1 village field.
Okay, getting larger.
Then 2 or 3 village fields. Then 1 whole great kingdom.
Wow.
Then 2 or 3 great kingdoms. And the final step is pervading the entire earth as far as the ocean.
So it's a progressive widening of attention across physical geography.
Exactly. A sequential expansion of focus on physical dimensions.
So the difference is really stark then. One is about the boundless quality, kindness, compassion.
Radiating outwards from the heart.
And the other is about the expanding scope of mental focus on the physical world itself.
Precisely. Quality versus quantity of space, in a way.
So For you, why is getting this distinction right so important for someone practicing? What's the risk if you mix them up?
That's a really key question. If you confuse them, you might put your effort in the wrong place, you know.
How do you mean?
Well, you might think that just by expanding your mental focus over a huge area, like a kingdom, you're automatically cultivating boundless compassion.
Ah, I see. But they're different skills, different mental muscles.
Exactly. You might neglect the actual inner work, the transformation of your sort of emotional state, the cultivation of metta or karucha. The text implies both types of deliverance are valuable, but they're cultivated differently. And, well, they lead to different results.
Different results. Okay.
It just shows the incredible nuance, the psychological precision in these teachings.
And it doesn't stop there, does it? Anuruddha then connects these practices to rebirth.
Yes, he brings in the idea of rebirth, or pavupatio states of being you might attain. And he links them to the kind of aura or luminosity one develops through these practices.
Auras, like literal light.
It can be understood that way, or perhaps more like an energetic signature, a reflection of your cultivated mind state. The text talks about 4 kinds of rebirth among deities based on these auras.
Okay, what are they?
So if you pervade and dwell with small auras, you end up reborn among deities with small auras.
Makes sense.
If you cultivate immeasurable auras, maybe linked to that immeasurable mind deliverance we discussed, you get rebirth among deities with immeasurable auras.
Right.
Then there are defiled auras. Cultivating those leads to rebirth among deities with defiled auras.
Defiled.
Okay.
Impure.
Something like that. And conversely, cultivating pure auras leads to rebirth among deities with pure auras.
Okay, so the quality of your practice, the purity and scope, influences the kind of realm, the kind of beings you associate with after death.
That seems to be the implication, yes.
And the text gives this interesting image about what happens when these deities get together, doesn't it? Something about their light.
It does. It says when these deities gather, their individual colors might be different, but the overall light, the collective aura, becomes one.
Uniform.
Like bringing lots of different colored lamps into one room.
Exactly. The individual flames look different, but the light in the room itself is just light, a single glow. But then when they leave...
When they disperse, then you see the differences again. Both their individual colors and their individual luminosity become distinct. Like taking those lamps back out of the room, now you see each separate light clearly.
Interesting. It's like our individual karmic color or brightness can merge in a group but is distinct on its own.
It's a powerful analogy for how individual conditioning relates to collective phenomena, perhaps.
And what really struck me here is that these deities, even in these, seemingly amazing realms, they don't get attached.
That's a crucial point. The text explicitly states they don't see their state as permanent, stable, or eternal.
Even though it might seem pretty great.
Right. They just delight in where they are moment to moment. The analogy used is quite simple but effective, like flies being carried along in a basket.
Flies in a basket.
Yeah, the flies don't think, oh, this basket is my permanent home. They just are where they are, enjoying the ride, so to speak, without clinging.
So even in heavenly realms, the principle of impermanence, anarchy, still holds. No ultimate refuge there either.
Precisely. It underscores that even blissful states are conditioned, temporary, and not the final goal of liberation. That non-clinging attitude is key, even for a deity.
Now, another monk jumps in here, right? Pañcakaṅga.
Yes, he wants more details. He presses Anuruddha a bit.
And his first question is about the size of these auras. Are they all small, or are some huge, immeasurable?
And Anuruddha confirms, yes, there are both sizes. Small auras and immeasurable ones exist among these deities.
And how does Anuruddha explain why? He uses that earlier discussion, doesn't he?
He does, very cleverly. He turns it back to Cakanna. He asks him to compare those examples of magnified mind deliverance.
Like the tree roots and the fields.
Right. He asks, is pervading 2 or 3 tree roots more magnified than just one? And Cakanna says, yes, obviously.
And so on, up to the whole earth.
Exactly. Anuruddha leads him through the progression, showing that Cakanna himself understands the principle. The wider your mental pervasion, the more magnified the state.
So the conclusion is?
The wider the mental scope you cultivate in life, the more immense, the more immeasurable the aura or luminous quality of your resulting rebirth. Your mental reach here determines your luminous reach there.
That's quite direct. Okay, then Cakanna asks about purity. Are the auras all defiled, or are some pure?
And again, Anuruddha confirms, you find both. There are deities with defiled auras and deities with pure auras.
So what makes the difference? What determines if your aura, and thus your rebirth state, is pure or defiled?
Here, Anuruddha uses another really vivid analogy, the oil lamp.
The oil lamp, right.
He says, think of an impure oil lamp. The oil's maybe dirty, the wick isn't trimmed well. How does it burn?
Dimly, flickering, smoky.
Exactly,
Yeah.
dimly, impurely. He compares this to a practitioner who hasn't dealt with their defilements, specifically physical unwholesomeness.
Like harmful actions?
Yes, and mental hindrances like sloth and torpor, that mental dullness, sleepiness.
Right, the enemy of meditation.
And restlessness and remorse, the agitated mind, regrets. If these aren't subdued, not removed, the practitioner dwells with defiled auras.
Leading to rebirth among deities with similar defiled auras.
That's the link he makes. But then the contrast.
A pure lamp.
Yes,
Okay.
oh, pure lamp, pure oil, pure wick. It burns brightly, clearly.
Okay.
And this is like the practitioner has dealt with these things. Well subdued physical unwholesomeness, well removed that sloth and torpor, well eradicated restlessness and remorse.
They dwell with pure auras.
And consequently, they're headed for rebirth among deities with pure auras.
So it's really about the inner purification work. Cleaning the lamp of the mind directly impacts the quality, the purity of your future state of being.
It couldn't be clearer.
Yeah.
The quality of your mind, the purity you cultivate now, determines the purity of your energetic signature, your aura, and the corresponding realm of rebirth.
So putting it all together, this whole discussion really maps out how the specifics matter, doesn't it? The quality you cultivate, like compassion, versus the scope you cultivate, like spatial awareness.
And the purity with which you do either.
Right. It all directly shapes not just how you feel now, but the potential nature of future existence. It's quite a detailed picture of mental cause and effect.
It really is a profound framework for understanding how our inner cultivation shapes our reality.
And then comes the real kicker at the end. Kakana notices something about how Anuruddha is speaking.
Yes, a very sharp observation.
He points out that Anuruddha isn't saying, well, I heard this, or it probably works like this.
No quoting of others, no speculation.
Instead, he speaks like someone who knows this stuff firsthand, like he's actually been there, seen these deities.
Kakana basically says, you must have actually lived with these deities, talked with them, discussed things with them before. He infers direct experience.
And Anuruddha's reply.
He just confirms it.
Yeah.
Straight up. Indeed, Kakana, I have long lived with, conversed with, and had discussions with those deities.
Wow. That's huge. It reframes the whole conversation.
It absolutely does. It tells us this isn't just theory or refined philosophy. It's coming from direct, sustained, personal experience of these states and these beings. It gives his words incredible weight.
Yeah, no kidding. And Pañcakaṅga, the carpenter who started it all with his question.
He's overjoyed, basically. He says his doubt is gone. He's benefited hugely. He got the clarity he was looking for.
It shows the power of getting clear answers grounded in, well, apparent experience.
Definitely.
So what a journey we've taken you on. From, a simple meal invite to this cosmic exploration of different mind states and even deity realms.
Quite something.
This deep dive into the Anuruddhasutta really drives home how specific ways of training the mind, whether it's cultivating boundless compassion or expanding spatial focus, seem to lead to very different results.
It really highlights the need for clarity. Understanding these distinctions, immeasurable versus magnified, defiled versus pure. It's not just academic. It's presented as vital for effective internal practice.
Yeah, it gives you a kind of map showing how specific practices might lead to specific outcomes, specific kinds of karmic results. It's not just generic good vibes.
Not at all. It's about precision in cultivation, leading to precision in results.
And that final reveal, the fact that Anuruddha claimed to speak from direct lived experience with these deities, well, it leaves us with a pretty provocative thought, doesn't it?
Where are you going with this?
Well, if the mind can be cultivated to achieve such refined and expansive states that might even correlate with different kinds of beings or realities,
Yeah.
what else is possible? What other layers of experience, what maybe luminous possibilities might be waiting just beyond our usual perception?
Waiting to be explored through that same kind of focused, dedicated cultivation.
Exactly. What potential lies untapped in the mind's capacity?
That is indeed a fascinating question, something for you, the listener, to perhaps ponder
Yeah.
and maybe even explore.